All right, man. Let's talk about Gary Russell losing to Mark Max. So a lot of people called this upset. When Gary, said he had an injury, he revealed that to the Zone Boxing Show. Then they said that well, then actually he missed weight. Excuse me. So it was a lot of stuff. When he started making excuses about his shoulder and told us it was an injury to his shoulder, I'll let you know everything you need to know because you talk about like the reason they got injury reports in other sports or team sports is to tell you, so everybody can be honest about the injury and stuff of that nature. But Gary Russell, you don't never, reveal your injury. He just would have had to figure it out. And even when he did figure out that, Gary Russell was injured, he still wasn't doing the right thing. He still was following Gary Russell around the ring instead of, stepping to his lead hand, which would be stepping to his right and cutting the ring off and making Gary do something with the right. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a situation. He wasn't on his toes. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of things that, he wasn't doing that he should have been doing. And, like I said before, Showtime was literally rooting against Gary Russell to lose. Pulling up jab totals, you know what I'm saying? Uh Bad mouthing them. Like I said before, everybody say, Al Heyman pro black. Listen to the commentary. Think about it. He had Harold Letterman on PBC on boxing. You know, um, it's messed up though. But the fans said on Showtime, 68% of the fans said Gary Russell lost. 68% of the fans check out the fight prediction playlist. I mean, fight reaction playlist from videos like this. A little tired. Hold on, wrong one. But 68% of the Showtime fans said he lost. So I mean, like I said before, man, they since Golovkin and Canelo won, they've been crediting the pressure fighters. They've been over credited them. And Gary Russell made him miss a lot. Yeah, he did hit Gary Russell, but part of ring generalship and part of scoring the fight, they don't score defense. When you make somebody miss, that that's defense. And he beat Mark Maxo. He was hitting Mark Maxo with one hand. Now, one of the things I like to see Gary Russell do, with I like to see him had done was switch. Put his healthy hand as his lead hand. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he did or didn't feel comfortable with doing that, but that's what he should have did. Jab can take you all the way when everything else in doubt. A jab can take you all the way to the top, and I think he should have been jabbing more. I mean, he should use his lead hand. He should lose his healthy hand. So he should have his right hand in the lead, popping and jab. But Maxwell came out hot. He landed some good shots. He went to Gary Russell's body. Hit Gary Russell good, and Gary Russell, right after the fourth round, Gary Russell found his groove. He got Mark Maxwell. He got Mark Maxwell's speed, rhythm down, his punches with his on the how wide his punches down. When he got that, he started doing really good defense. But like I said before, it's not a Gary Russell thing. They've been stopped scoring defense in boxing. They've been stopped putting defense part of ring generalship. All they want is all they really want is offense. And for Maxo to have a dude in there that had one hand, he didn't win clearly enough, in my opinion, for him to got the dub. I didn't score it, so I really can't say. I didn't score it. That's my honest opinion. I didn't score it, but looking early, I thought Maxwell won the majority of the first four rounds, and then it started to change. But they probably scored, when Maxwell flurried at the end of like round 8 or 9, or when he lined it one or big shot. That's when they tend to score it for him. You know, and at the end of the day, I just think Gary Russell, if he knew his shoulder was that hurt, he said that after the fight, it was an old injury from before the Olympics, and he said he chose not to get surgery. He chose to go the therapy route and strengthen the muscles around the shoulder, which I'll talk about that in the morning. That's fine. A lot of people tend to, avoid doing something to go around it. We do it every day with our cars, some other problems and at work. But at one day you gotta tackle it head on. But like I said before, Maxo, he was reaching. I think he was really the beneficiary of a few things. Gary Russell, people tired of seeing him. WBC tired of representing them. He and Al Heyman's doghouse, whatever reason that is, only Lord knows between him and Al Heyman. Also, Gary Russell's father. I'm surprised he didn't have a couple his other brother in there, the youngest one or the other two, Antonio and Gary Antonio Russell and Gary Antoine Russell. Surprised he had him in his corner, but they was all sitting with his dad, and he said he trained himself. His shoulder was hurting. Maxo thought he hurt the shoulder in the fight. He said, he hurt it, but it was already hurt. I'm pretty sure they probably tried to get a pain injection exemption, and it's up to both parties to explain. And, he probably said, no, you got to come in the way you is. He said he injured the shoulder 2 weeks before the fight. He didn't want to miss the payday. And if he didn't defend his title, then they were threatening to strip him. So I guess he'd rather lose his title in the ring than out the ring. That's very honorable. But like I said before, he should have been training to come out orthodox. He should have been training for the worst case scenario. He couldn't use the shoulder. Let's go orthodox. And that's what he should have been doing. But other than that, he showed a lot of heart. He made Maxo miss. I don't really care about the punch stats. It's just used as support and argument because nobody know how accurate the punch stats is. Nobody's wearing some type of body vest. It's somebody at home or somebody watching with a clicker in their hand telling you what landed, what don't land, and then tell you as far as the how hard they land. Now the Maxo buzz, Gary Russell, absolutely, but Gary Russell really recovered. And like I said before, it's a shame. It's a shame. I thought he should have, maybe he didn't feel comfortable with switching. But shit, at least you would have been able to jab him and probably steal some rounds. But overall, like I said, I didn't score it. I was watching the Packer game and it came on. I'm trying to eat. Got the other situations, man, and I really didn't score it. But in the first four, it looked like Maxo really controlled like 3 of the first 4. Then you go afterwards. I thought Gary Russell, I said Gary Russell dropped 3 rounds. I thought out of the next 8, I thought Gary Russell, just to the naked eye, I thought he won like 5 or 6 of them. It looked like Maxo was reaching, Maxo was missing, he was whiffing, and Gary Russell was tagging him. But you just see the agenda, bro, by Showtime. Just you heard it. When you go back and watch it again, listen to the agenda, bro. Listen to the agenda. They was hating on him from the very first bell. And the agenda was to convince the fans that Gary Russell had lost. That was the agenda. The kids to sway their minds, or they throwing up punch jab stats, and when the last time they threw up some like jab stats, and all that, that late in the fight, and it was an agenda. And just let you know, a lot of people are they sheep. They believe what they hear. But he lost 114. He had a draw 114, 114. He scored 113, 113, 115, 113, 115. Like I said, it is what it is. I thought that the fight was, I thought he could have won it. But at the end of the day, they do score for even they do score for even ineffective aggression. Old boy did land some Maxwell land the cleaner, more effective shots, but at the end of the day, you can't use Gary Russell excuses. You know what I'm saying? Don't fight if you can't fight without your father. You gotta train you. Just I hate to say that. Don't fight if your shoulder is injured. Don't fight. Trey Bendon, that's all you can say. You can say he was a warrior. He probably couldn't afford to pass up a payday. And I feel him. He's been off for 2 years. Is another excuse. And he probably can't afford to lose a payday, man. None of us can. Not one of us can afford for that to happen, man. But like I said before, man, I just think he should have put his healthy arm in the lead and see where it took him. But maybe his dad would have gave him that advice in the corner. Maybe it was not negotiable. Maybe it might have been an option. But apparently, at some point, that arm was good enough. They probably warmed it up, and he probably hit it, and he probably hurt it again. And in hindsight, he said he had it before the Olympics, and he chose not to have surgery. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's cool, but long term it's still caught up with you. Like, 10, 15 years later, whatever it's been. So, when you got them situations, guys get a championship run, title runs, whatever it may be, might have opportunity to Grand Slam, Triple Crown, or whatever it may be. I get it. But I know ultimately, man, fixing the problem here and then, here and now, and getting out the way, this probably wouldn't even have been a question. But I feel him, man. You want to compete for a gold medal. You want to compete, even though he didn't get a chance to compete because he got sick anyway. Then he turned pro. Then he probably just wanted. He probably just wanted to start make money. He probably, you think about this. In the Olympics, he probably 20 years old, 18, whatever it may be. Talking about 13 plus years later, it caught up with him. So, like I said, Maxo, at the end of the day, not sure how long he'd be champion, what his boost his confidence, but he was in the first 4 rounds, he was a live dog. He looked like he might even stop Gary Russell. His punches was crisp. It was fast and all types of stuff, man. And the balance was a lot better. He wasn't reaching as much. And as time went on, he got tired. He started reaching, he started leaning over, started falling over with his shots. And obviously Gary Russell with the shoulder injury couldn't capitalize on it. But yeah, the old boy was falling forward, leaning over. I guess that's fatigue. And they said, like, before he hooked up with Freddie Roach, that's who was training him. Shout out to Freddie. He said that he had the commentary said he never did road work before. So learn to run some miles. Boost his conditioning. But Abner Mars was the only one with clarity on that commentary class. On that commentary, man, it was just straight hate for Gary Russell. Probably got the agenda, and they knew they was gonna take it from him. And that's what happened when you don't take what they offer. They said Gary Russell wanted too much money. Leo Sand and a few other people down in that area said it. In like I said before, man, he pulled out this and postponed it. It would have been the last major boxing fight this month, I think it was. So I understand, man. You don't want to be the hatred. You don't want to be in the hatred everybody's eyes. Because I don't think it's a major card. We had UFC tonight. I don't think it's a major card next week, not until the 5th. So I feel him. But ultimately, Maxo, I feel he could have done more with a guy with one arm that wasn't throwing his lead hand. He said he was aware of it, and he kept just circling to Gary Russell's power hand. He could have circled to his right hand, but it is what it is. You gotta, Gary said he want to get back in there. He probably gonna end up having surgery, so you probably won't see him until like next year. And it's at the point you gotta ask yourself, will you see him again? If you do see him again, this probably gonna motivate him to, fight a whole bunch more now. Tyler talked about the excuse after the layoff and all that. And, like I said before, maybe losing his title helped, but him going up to fight guys like Haney after what I seen tonight, and talking about fighting Terrence Crawford and those type of guys, man, he don't stand a best chance in hell. He had, even one arm, he had some. I don't know if it was one arm, but he had some issues getting on the inside doing something with Max. So I just see them guys creaming him, having fun with him. But got guard intellect. We've seen some things from him we ain't seen. Usually he moves his feet as his defense today. He showed that he was slick, on the upper torso. The legs was good. The upper body was good. The twitch still was there. He said he never took more than he never took it. He never took around two. He said he hadn't took more than 2 months off, or since he was a kid. So like I said before, man, wonderful fight. To the naked eye, I thought Gary Russell won, but I can't say it with conviction because I didn't score. But Mark Max, so everybody was on the bandwagon for Mark, and Gary didn't win on one scorecard. He had a draw, and ultimately, is he a victim of circumstance? Absolutely. You don't fight. They try to get you to fight more. You don't fight more. Whatever situation is, if it's the money, if this, that, and the third, now you paying for it. When they don't tell you to do something, this tends to happen. But yeah, let me know what you girls and guys think. Check the fight reaction playlist. Be back later on. I'll talk about the post-fight interviews and whatever they do after that. Once again, check out the fight reaction playlist. Want to financially support the channel? Cash App, $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. All the links and information there. You can reach me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request, all my social media subscription. Twitter's the fastest way to Instagram and Facebook. Best way to donate, comment, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. That subscribe button, it's the bell icon button, hit all notifications, increase chance of notification. Appreciate the love.